I've been seeing tons of these Pokemon Challenge videos all over YouTube as of late, from mah-dry-bread's No Healing at Pokemon Center Challenge to Johnstone's No Healing Period Challenge, so that got me thinking. Since I love Pokemon challenges and Nuzlocks a lot, would I be able to Nuzlocke Pokemon Leaf Green without healing at a Pokemon Center? For those of you who don't know, a Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge has these sets of rules. You may only catch the first Pokemon every given route. If a Pokemon in the party faints, you may never use it again. However, you may deposit it rather than releasing it though. All Pokemon must be nicknamed to force a further bond between trainer and Pokemon. And then there are a certain number of rules that you can add on, like dupes, claws, no healing in battle, etc, etc. We're just going to be doing the standard Nuzlocke because we're already making this insanely difficult without healing at the Pokemon Center. So, just as my name states, JaCubAsAlways, I'm writing this before I go through with the challenge, so I don't know the outcome of this beforehand. I have the utmost confidence that we can achieve perfection by winning this challenge. But that doesn't mean, as good old JR would say, this challenge won't be a slobber knocker to get through. So, here are the rules. We're doing a Nuzlocke only format. So, Nuzlocke rules, standard apply. No healing at Pokemon Centers, or beds, or house, or anything, or nurses. And we can't use the PC to restore PP or HP. However, we may use the PC to get new team members. So if we don't want to use a Kakuna anymore, we can deposit that Kakuna forever and never see it again to get a better team member out of the PC. No using glitches or exploits, so no using Game Shark or anything like that. No randomization. We're not randomizing this game. We're playing the actual standard game. And no using legendary Pokemon, because if I just went and got an Articuno, if I went to catch the Articuno, we just demolish like Lance or something, for example, or a rival, depending on who we pick. And I don't want it to be easy. I want this thing to be insanely difficult as we possibly can. But let me know in the comments down below if you think we can do it. I think we can. Let's just get started. But first of all, I wanted to give a shout out to InVividColor for the animation in the background. He made that, so a link to his Twitter and YouTube will in the description. Phenomenal guy. Check him out. Let's get started. Before our challenge officially begins, I just wanted to preface by saying, if you don't believe me that I actually completed this challenge fair and square, there will be a link in the description to every second of this challenge. Also, I gotta give a shout out to my Soul Link partner, 3rd Gen Gamer, who's also doing a Pokemon challenge video of his own. Link is in the description. So naturally, I'll have to name him our rival as well. One of the longest parts about this entire challenge was, who should I choose as a starter? While late game, Blastoise would have been the easiest to use by far, I wanted the Pokemon that would give us the easiest, or so I thought at the time, challenge in the beginning, because believe it or not, I did have a game plan going into this challenge. However, I did need to get about halfway through the game before that plan could come to fruition. So desperately, we needed to go with Bulbasaur, which I named after my girlfriend Becca. After convincingly handling our rival, we start our journey by getting Oak's Parcel, delivering it, and finally getting Pokeballs so we can start catching Pokemon. I also wanted to state that I'm not going to be covering every single encounter I get in this game because I feel this video is already going to be ridiculously long as is. So that just made sense to me. I will, however, show you off all the important ones and the early encountered ones as well. The first encounter I'll show off is actually this Mankey, because it was pretty clever how I got it to be Mankey. Basically, I made sure to catch the first Pokemon in the first route and the route above Viridian City first, as I had a very good chance of catching a Rattata, which happens to be the highest percentage Pokemon in Mankey's area, so it just made sense to do it those two areas first. Mankey is a pure fighting type Pokemon, as you probably already know, and I figured that typing would be good as a secondary Pokemon to deal with the first gym leader Brock, who specializes in rock types. Now, rather than take on the optional rival battle versus Miguel, I opt on to take on Viridian Forest instead, for a simple reason. I can't get hacks out of this challenge this early on. The first run, believe it or not, of this challenge, I got hacked out of Miguel's Pidgeotto Sand Attack in the 3rd rival battle, and I'm doing my very best to prevent that same thing from happening yet again. Anywho, Viridian Forest was a bigger pushover than the Packers were for the Chargers last week, and we easily made it to Peter City. Speaking of pushovers, Brock is now one as well, because going through the forest, Becca learned Vine Whip, thus making it near impossible for us to lose to the rock-hard gym leader. After easily getting our Boulder Badge, Brock goes back to Hollywood to film movies. We also teach Mankey Rock Tomb after for more coverage. Next up, we need to make our way to Mount Moon. We're going to try and catch a Geodude. Will luck be on our side? That's a good joke. No, it won't, because we don't know or have luck and get everyone's favorite bat Pokemon, Zubat, instead. We also bought the Magikarp from the dude in the Pokemon Center, which we accidentally don't nickname. So that's a no-go in being able to use that. Yay. Well done, Past Jacob. Well done. Before we get going through Mount Moon, I just wanted to show off how I've been using my Rattata, as well as that I made my first big-ish mistake. With luck on our side for once, we managed to score one with Guts as its ability, so when I got paralyzed, I've kept it paralyzed, so we always get that boost. It's paid pretty nice dividends thus far. Let's hope it stays that way. However though, I made a pretty silly mistake in that I deposited Caterpie before evolving into a Metapod and Butterfree, which will be super annoying later in the game because of the Pokedex. Anyway, I'll explain that later. Let's keep advancing. At the beginning of the dungeon, we find the Bullet Seed TM, which I immediately teach to Bulbasaur. Another great reason why I chose Bulbasaur is because I knew we'd end up getting this TM in Mount Moon, and Bullet Seed has a lot of PP. Super nice for challenges like these, obviously. After meeting the evil organization of Kanto and Team Rocket, Bulbasaur evolves into Ivysaur. No question, evolution is the solution for us if we want to win this challenge. In the end of the dungeon, we meet a Rune Maniac, who's just like Elise from Tales of Xillia and spreads the message, sharing is caring, and lets us have the Helix fossil. I almost didn't show off which fossil I picked because I wanted you guys to ask me in the comments down below, but then I realized people need to watch this video first in order to do that, so here we go. After what seemed like an eternity, we finally made it to Cerulean City, home of the second gym leader, Misty. However, before trying to challenge her, it's in our best interest to gain a few more levels and attempting to catch a few more Pokemon too. But before we need to do that, we need to take on the first big obstacle in our path to immortality and take on a rival Miguel yet again. This time though, his team is insanely difficult for the members we have, especially as level 17 Pidgeotto that has Sand Attack. Oh boy. My plan is to beat this Pidgeotto is quite simple. Poison this mother trucker. Immediately miss. So my plan is already shaky as a darn bird goes for the most infuriating move in Pokemon history aside from Minimize and Sand Attack. That makes us miss again. Fortunately enough, we hit the third poison powder, so thankfully this bird is on a timer now, but it did do quite a bit of damage to our Ivysaur in the process, so I decided it's in our best interest and of the team and challenge, we need to sacrifice a member. In turn, we suck off Kerp the Pidgey in order to heal our Ivysaur to full health. Then, I figured, Hyper Fang plus poison damage will knock out the Pidgeotto from here, but to everyone's surprise, we miss a crucial move. Again, Jason luckily lives the next two gusts and retaliates with a Hyper Fang that hits, along with poison damage that finally knocks out the infamous flying type. At least the next two Pokemon will go down without a fight in Rattata and Abra. The latter allows us to heal our team since it doesn't have a single attacking move yet. However, the worst is yet to come because we still have his starter to defeat in Charmander. If you thought Pidgeotto was difficult, you have another thing coming. This Charmander is just as awful because it has more coverage move, hits a bit harder, and to top it all off, also has its own variation in Sand Attack just in Smokescreen instead. A singular yike. In the process of trying to defeat this level 18 lizard, and even though we get lucky in poisoning Charmander as well, it manages to knock out another member of our team in Jom the Zubat. Actually, after rewatching the footage, the fire-breathing lizard wasn't as terrible as I remembered. Oof. Anyway, after getting out of that battle pretty much unscathed, we do catch another team member in Ant the Spearow, which will help us greatly in the future. Aside from a Mankey nearly KOing our Becca, and in turn us needing to sacrifice Nathan the Nidoran female, Nugget Bridge was a breeze, with an emphasis on the breeze part. After getting the Nugget from a Rocket Grunt, we make our way to Bill, the owner of the PC system, so we help him in his time of need. To thank us, he gives us the SS ticket so we can go on a nice cruise, something that a Wisconsinite like myself would greatly appreciate as it keeps getting colder here. In the process, we failed to catch an Abra, but succeeded in catching a Weedle as well as evolving it into a Kakuna. However, we made a grave mistake by trying to run from a wild Pidgey rather than switching out, so there's another Mon to the Shadow Realm. Yippee-ki-yay. Rather than us trying to earn our second gym badge, we're gonna skip that for now and proceed to Vermilion City. On the way there, we catch a Meowth named Lucy after one of my adorable kitty cats I have in real life. The Meowth is important because it has the ability Pickup, so hopefully it'll be a good little kitty cat and score some Leppa berries. As Newton's third law states, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So since catching Meowth would be classified as good, yeah, we had another casualty. This time, Silver the Mankey. That makes 5 now. At least Becca learned Razor Leaf in the process. So since we're in Vermilion now, we head to Diglett's Cave to potentially catch another key member for now in a Diglett or Dugtrio if we're lucky. To upper odds, we're spraying Repel to at least get a higher level Diglett. A higher level Diglett is what we get. We catch a level 22 Diglett with relative ease and name it Panther. Panther will be clutch for at least the next couple gyms and cities and dungeons. We're on to the SSN and we face Miguel once again. Unlike the last encounter with our arch nemesis, this fight is significantly easier as we have a Fearow and he can't just spam Sand Attack because of our ability Keen Eye. No clue why this rival fight is always easier than the last one, but we take those. Something else we take just as easily is the Cascade Badge from Misty because along with the Razor Leaf, this is a super easy battle. This is by far one of the easiest parts of this challenge right now because we had Ivysaur for Misty and now a newly evolved Panther, the Dugtrio for Lieutenant Surge. Both were cakewalks of fights. On the way to Rock Tunnel, we gain another valuable TM in Aerial Ace, which we immediately teach to Ant. That'll be nice for the next gym for sure. Rock Tunnel was pretty uneventful, but we did catch a Geodude. A little bit too late for that. But oh well. I also wanted to show off that once I deposit a Pokemon in the can't use box, I may never, ever double negative for the win. Use it again. Just as we've been doing through most of this challenge, we're skipping the Sabon Gym and taking on that first Rocket Hideout now. Because of that plan I had at the beginning of the challenge is almost going to be in effect. We just need the Pokeflute. However, while attempting to get the Silph Scope from Giovanni, we lose our dear girlfriend Becca. Since we lost our way to deal with Rock and Ground types as well, we go get the Eevee, immediately evolve into Vaporeon, and teach it Water Pulse TM we got from Misty. The only difficult Pokemon Giovanni has is the Kangaskhan, and it's only because of the spamming of Tail Whip. However, I give this game a taste of its own medicine by spamming Sand Attack my own, but the game still hits an inaccurate move in Mega Punch. How? Why? Just like how many licks it takes to get the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop, the world will never know. Regardless, we defeat Giovanni without losing a single Pokemon. Nice. Off to Lavender Town's Pokemon Tower we go because we are so close to making our plan a reality. First off in the tower, we have to deal with Miguel once again. This time, Sand Attack reveal its evil self again, but we still managed to defeat our rival without any deaths. Also, where you heal in the Pokemon Tower, yeah, I can't use that. I nearly did though, so I would have had to reset. Unfortunately though, we lose another member in Ghastly named 2-Bit. We just caught in here, but at least we didn't get too attached too quickly. Other than that, Pokemon Tower was a smooth sail. After beating Pokemon Tower, we received the Pokeflute from Mr. Fuji. Now, our grand plan comes to action. We catch a Snorlax, name it after the legendary Michael Bolin, and grind Zebstrike Army, grind. And by grind, I mean use all of Snorlax's move. You struggled to get 50 Pokemon so we can get the experience share. That's why I was frustrated with some silly mistakes I made earlier in letting Kakuna faint, as well as just depositing Caterpie before evolving it. Also, luckily, I got an Adamant Nature Snorlax, so this should be really nice. As you can see, we're only at 25 Pokemon in our decks, so this may be a chore, but we can do this. I also had a nice plan to try to beat Koga, but sadly, us cheesing the game by using our Repel to get Venomoth to pop up didn't work out too well because it just fled in the Safari Zone. At least I have good luck in other avenues in life. Anyway, we still get a Venonat on the outskirts of Fuchsia, so all hope isn't lost. Before grinding up to infinity and beyond, we have another gym badge turn, this time the Rainbow Badge from Erica. She, like so many gym leaders earlier, was easy as singing your ABCs. But yet again, for every good thing in this series, there's a bad one that happens right after. Larcy, the Venonat, becomes the 8th victim of this run as it faints to a crit guts-boosted revenge from a Machamp. Kinda stings that the crit probably mattered, but there's not much we can do about it. We have to move on, and we have to keep working hard. With the hard work we keep doing, we evolved our Doduo to Dodrio, Geodude the Graveler, Bellsprout to Weeping Bell, Poliwag to Poliwhirl, as well as using Evolutionary Stones to evolve Weeping Bell, Poliwhirl, Staryu, Vulpix, and Poliwhirl. Oh my! Even with all of our hard work and us grinding to get more mons in the decks, we unfortunately had to say goodbye to some team members in Shiny the Vaporeon as well as Tyler the Slowpoke because we decided to be ballsy and try to defeat Miguel and Silphco. Although we did end up winning, it was still a bittersweet victory. After a tough fight, we did receive a Lapras, which we named Frank for our troubles. Of all the hard work through catching, training, and buying Pokemon pays dividends though, because we finally have over 50 Pokemon, which means we are eligible to gain the EXP share from a gift from our Professor Crazy Oak's aides. So this challenge is going to get easier from here now, right? Actually, yes! We breeze our way through Silphco, Sabrina, and Blaine to get some more badges. Freeze! Past Jacob! Alright guys, I'm sorry. I forgot to write the Koga fight into the script. I know, well, freaking done. Regardless, in post-editing, I am putting it in right here and right now. That means you guys don't have to put in the comments below, Jacob, you forgot the Koga fight. I know I did. I'm sorry. Here's a highlight. It went well. Went a lot easier than I figured it would. I figured we'd get toxic styled. Never hit our moves on Muck. Didn't happen. We easily mollywopped him. Let's get back to the past and current challenge. And even the Master Ball, which obviously I'm not going to use on something silly. Piff, I never do. Oh, I used it on a Ponyta when I could have just caught a Rapidash. I'm gonna head out now. After bullying our way through the bully bikers on the third island, we save Listel from the forest and Hypno and bring her back to her father. In turn, he gives us a nifty Moonstone. Too bad we don't have a Pokemon to evolve using it. Regardless, it's time to go back to Kanto where we need to get ready to take on the final gym leader, Giovanni. The plan for Giovanni is simple. Delete a move on Snorlax and spam Surf until we can't anymore. Spam Surf we did, as we demolished Giovanni for a third and final time, earning ourselves the Earth Badge. We're so close to beating this challenge, but only our rival Miguel in Victory Road stands in our way from getting to the Pokemon League. Can we do it? Yes, we can. So after demolishing our rival Miguel for one of the final times, getting through Victory Road, as you can see as I'm talking right now, I chicken out and I go grind, and I only grind because I have to and don't want to just spam Snorlax for days in the Pokemon League if I can help it. So after our long and tedious grinding montage, here is our final team. A level 69 Snorlax with the moves Return, Earthquake, Shadow Ball, and Blizzard. A level 40 Magmar with the moves Fire Blast, Fire Punch, Sunny Day, and Smokescreen. A level 45 Kadabra with the moves Recover, Calm Mind, Psychic, and Reflect. A level 46 Lapras with Ice Beam, Thunder, Surf, and Psychic. A level 40 Aerodactyl with Wing Attack, Fly, Agility, and Ancient Power. And lastly, a level 40 Magneton with Lock On, Toxic, Thunder Wave, and Thunderbolt. And before you ask, no, I didn't use the Pokemon Center. In Gen 3, when you teach any new moves to your Pokemon, it literally gives you the max PP, which is super duper nice. If we do this type of challenges in future games, we won't have that convenience. Then again, the games will just heal us every 5 minutes, so yeah, there's that. Before I reveal the outcome of the Elite Four, let me know in the comments down below whether you think we can do it or not, as well as leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, as many hours went into creating this, so I'd really appreciate any feedback I can get, as well as any other Pokemon challenges you want to see out of me in the future. First up of the Elite Four, we have Lorelei, a very intelligent woman who specializes in Ice-type Pokemon. Despite how intelligent she may be, she was no match for us and our powerful team, as we easily knocked out her Dugong, Cloyster, Slowbro, Lapras, and Jinx, even though Confusion still hates us. Also, why in the world does Shadow Ball lower special defense in this game when it's a physical move? Crunch is a special move in this game, yet lowers special defense, so you'd think Shadow Ball would have lowered defense. Weird. Bruno is the next member of Elite Four. He's a super buff guy, so he's gotta have Psychic-type Pokemon. That just makes sense. Actually, no. He's got fighting types. I guess the whole don't judge a book by its cover thing is in full effect here. Honestly, this is the battle I was most terrified coming into it, as we don't have a bulky Psychic type, and looking at our team, they can all get bodied by Bruno's fighting types, because besides from Bruno's 2 Onix, everything was pretty tough to take down, and we lost 4 members in this one fight. We lost Kadabra, Magmar, Magneton, and Aerodactyl. Lucky for us though, Big Boy Bolin, the Snorlax, came in clutch and defeated the Machamp and Bruno. Phew. That was a close one, but honestly, the rest of this should be pretty easy, right? The next Elite Four member is Agatha, aka Professor Oak's ex-girlfriend. She likes Ghost-type Pokemon, so hopefully she doesn't haunt us in our dreams with her spooky friends. Just like expected, this fight is pretty easy, as Snorlax just bops her Pokemon with Shadow Balls and Earthquakes when needed. Pretty simple, no casualties, just the way I like it. Something to note here though, Agatha really should state that she specializes in poison types, not ghost types, as only 60% of her team was made up of ghosts, just saying. Anyway, Lance, the Dragon Master, is up next. He leads with a level 56 Gyarados, which isn't too scary, especially when Frank is well trained and hits his thunders like the good Frank he is. Check out Asteroid Mania videos, by the way. After Lance uses a Full Restore, Lapras whittles it down and takes it out. A level 58 Aerodactyl's on the field next, and Snorlax is definitely our best way of combating it. We just spam Shadow Balls and beat it to a pulp. Eventually, that is. Now we're on to Lance's ace, a Dragonite, who's level 60. But we thought of everything, including having Blizzard for this exact situation before we even started the game. So it also helps we're 10 levels higher, but shh, we don't talk about that. After Dragonite is defeated, the battle is over. Not really, but Lapras KOs the final two Pokemon with both Dragonairs with relative ease. Well, now we're the Pokemon champions, so we don't gotta do anything else. Or we would have been if that darn Miguel didn't defeat Lance before us. Grr. Regardless, we've come too far, so it's time to defeat Miguel, aka 3rd Gen Gamer, again. This time, for all the marbles and to see who the true Pokemon League champion is. I also decided to use an Alexar and Snorlax before the battle just in case we need to have max PP. Anyway, Miguel leads with a level 59 Pidgeot, so now is the time for us to try and sweep his team. Sweep how, you may ask? Well, I've been saving the X items I found throughout this entire game to save them for this final sweep. Unfortunately though, this stupid, annoying bird still has Sand Attack, so we probably won't end up sweeping. But let's hope we can at least dent his team with a +1 speed and +1 special attack Lapras. We end up taking down his Pidgeot and Rhydon pretty easily, but his level 59 Executor evades an Ice Beam, clits Light Screen, lives another, gets frozen, thaws, and puts our Frank to sleep. This is fitting because just ask King Corfish, aka Ryan, how much Frank likes to sleep. Luckily for Frank, he wakes up in time to KO the Executor as Light Screen ends, only to get KO'd by an Alakazam Psychic. Kinda figured that happened. So after 15 of our friends go to the Shadow Realm, it's down to just Bolin the Snorlax since we have 3 more of Miguel's Pokemon to defeat. Will Bolin win us this fight and help us in becoming Pokemon League champion? Of frickin' course. He's the legendary Michael Bolin. He can do anything he sets his mind to, and even through Intimidates and Reflects, Bolin defeats Alakazam, Gyarados, and Charizard in succession. Thus, we become Pokemon League champions. Oofda. This was sure a long and grueling challenge to do, but want to know what? I'd do it again in a heartbeat because I had an absolute blast in making this creation, and I look forward to doing many more Pokemon challenges in the future. Like I said, hit that like button and let me know who your favorite member of our team was in the comments below, as well as other challenges you want to see me do. My name is Jacob as always. I love y'all, Zipshark Army. Peace.